I
I do.
object
What's your objection?
because I was traveling. I wasn't driving. Is there any injured party? Do we have a sworn affidavit or complaint from an injured party? No one was injured. There's no injured parties. If you guys can't bring forth any injured party, then why are we still here? I need this to be dismissed, and the funds that was issued on the bond account needs to be reimbursed to me. Period. You guys don't have any injured party here. Based on the Constitution, the Sixth Amendment, if you guys can't bring forth the accuser, then this needs to be dismissed.
Alright, guys, today we've got a sovereign citizen in court who thinks the law doesn't apply to him. Like, seriously? This dude is out here claiming he was traveling, not driving, so he should just get off the hook, right? Well, we're about to check out the body cam footage of him running a red light and see how that argument holds up in court. This guy is a total joke and a waste of time. Nonetheless, it is very entertaining to watch, so let's go ahead and dive in here.
I was stopped at the 11 mile and Washington light facing westbound. I had a green arrow and a vehicle proceeded eastbound on 11 mile through a light, which gained my attention. That light was red for them, which draw my attention to that vehicle.
Judge, at this time, I'd like to play that video from Officer Moran's dash cam. Judge, I'm just gonna stop that video here. Is that the video taken from your patrol car?
That is the vehicle for my patrol vehicle.
Does that fairly and accurately portray the events of the incident that led to the defendant being issued a civil infraction on that date and time?
It does.
Your Honor, I'd ask that that video be admitted into evidence.
All right, so admitted.
Officer, so what do you see on that video?
What I see, like I spoke to earlier, I was stopped at the 11 mile at Washington light facing westbound. I got the green arrow to turn southbound on Washington when a vehicle proceeded eastbound through, obviously, the red light.
When you approached that vehicle, did you observe the driver of that vehicle?
I did.
Do you recognize the driver of that vehicle on this Zoom today?
I
I do.
object
What's your objection?
because I was traveling. I wasn't driving.
Hold on, Junior. We'll get to you in just a second. Honestly, it makes me cringe every time sovereign citizens throw around the word objection like it's some kind of magic spell in court. Does this guy even know what a testimony is? Like, bro, it's not just people talking, it's actual evidence being presented here. The way he just said objection there is pretty clear this guy has no idea what's going on in court. Like, the fact that this guy is just willing to put his life in the court's hands almost without an attorney is just wild to me. These people make no sense to me, and I'm honestly still sitting here wondering how someone can be this clueless and still show up to court so confident. Honestly, does this hurt your guys' brain as much as it does to mine? But it's still just so entertaining, I can't stop watching, but let's dive back in.
Okay, overruled. Go ahead. You can answer the question, Officer Moran. Yes, I do see the defendant in the court today.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that Officer Moran has identified the defendant, Anthony Mathis.
The record will so reflect.
When you pulled the defendant over, did you have a conversation with him?
I did.
And in that conversation, did he admit to you that he had driven through the red light?
He did.
And ultimately, you issued him a ticket?
I did.
What was that ticket for that you had issued him?
I actually issued him an impeding traffic ticket.
Okay. But that's not what he actually did, correct?
No, that's not.
Why did you issue him an impeding traffic ticket?
Mr. Mathis at the time had a good driving record. He knew what he did. He told me he admitted to it, and he had a good attitude on the road. So I chose to go an impeding traffic ticket.
I object.
What's your
I
objection?
didn't, I never admitted to anything. Do you guys have that on the record? Could you guys pull that up that I admitted to something?
You'll have a chance
Not,
to,
then that's false.
Mr. Mathis, you'll have a chance. Your objection's overruled. This is his testimony from his memory. You'll have a chance to testify yourself and add any additional evidence here. So at this point, that is not a proper objection. It's overruled. Anything else to add there to that?
What, just very briefly, Judge, what an infraction did you actually observe?
I could have wrote him two infractions, either disobey traffic control device or disobey traffic signal.
And that's what he actually did, correct?
Correct.
Judge, I have nothing further at this time.
Now, Mr. Mathis, it's your opportunity to ask Officer Moran any questions that you feel are necessary. Now, I just want to instruct you, you'll have a chance to testify if you choose to in a moment. Right now, anything that you say should be in the form of a question directed at the officer. If you're going to start testifying, I'm going to have to interrupt you and redirect you. You'll have that chance in a moment. It's just to ask questions. So go ahead with any questions you have.
All right. Well, for the record, is there any injured party? Do we have a sworn affidavit or complaint from an injured party?
No, there's no injured party.
Okay, so we don't have any injured party. So Judge, you've been sworn in to uphold the Constitution, correct?
I'm not on the stand. I'm not answering any questions like that, Mr. Moran, or Mr. Mathis, excuse me.
So what type of court is this? Is this Admiralty Maritime Law?
Mr. Mathis, right now is your opportunity to ask Officer Moran any questions that you want to. If you're going to make some legal objections or something along those lines, you can do that in your closing. But right now, this moment in time is for you to ask Officer Moran any questions.
Okay, well, for the record, we don't have any injured parties, correct?
Judge, that's been asked and answered.
Sustained. He already answered that question.
Right, correct. I just wanted to make sure that we got that on the record. So if there's no injured party here, then why are we here?
That's a great question, you idiot. Why are we even here? Oh, I know. Maybe because this guy thought it was a genius move to file for this hearing instead of just, I don't know, paying his traffic ticket like a normal person. His IQ has gotta be in the negatives at this point. Like, this guy seriously has no idea how a court works. Like, I thought it was basic knowledge to understand that it goes opening statements, testimonies, and then closing statements. It's really not that hard to look that up. And even the judge here. Can we talk about how chill the judge is being? Like, this guy is just showing way more patience than I ever could. And the sovereign citizen here is just pushing every single button. I think the judge is being a little bit too nice. Maybe it's just me, but let me know what you guys think about it so far. Let's dive back in. He's about to go off.
No,
Judge, I don't think that's an appropriate question for Officer Moran.
it should have been no type of charge of
Hang on,
anything.
Mr. Mathis. When just like when you made an objection, we all waited for the court to make a ruling. That's what you need to do. So Mr. Klusny just made an objection that your question was actually more of a legal argument. I think that's what your objection was, Mr. Klusny, correct?
Yes, Judge, I don't believe there was a question directed to the officer.
So I'm sustaining that objection. And again, you can make those legal arguments or whatever the case is that you want to make at the end. Right now, it's just questions or not to Officer Moran. Anything else?
No, that's the only question that I have. If there's no injured party, he said no one was injured.
All right. So, Mr. Klusny, would you like to call any additional witnesses? Or I should ask you first, any redirect of Officer Moran?
Not at this time, Judge.
All right. Then any additional witnesses, Mr. Klusny?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Mathis, will you be testifying or do you have any witnesses that you'd like to call on your behalf?
No, I don't.
All right. Mr. Klusny, then your closing statement.
Judge, based on the testimony of Officer Moran and the video, it's clear by a preponderance of evidence that the defendant committed the offense of disobeying a traffic signal. The authority for the stop comes from MCL 257.611 or 257.612. I believe that's for the traffic control device. The video in this case could not be more clear, Judge. You see Officer Moran is in the left turn lane. He gets a green arrow, and the defendant in his vehicle has a red light, drives right through the red light. If Officer Moran didn't stop, he would have hit the defendant's vehicle because he went right through the red light. it's rare that we have a video that is as clear as this, Judge. And the officer tried to give him a break by writing him for an impeding instead of what he actually did, which was disobeying a traffic signal. And I believe it's clear based on the testimony in the video that the defendant is responsible for that traffic offense of disobeying a traffic signal.
Repeat your change.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got the light?
Mr. Mathis, your closing argument?
Well, what I would like to say on the record is no one was injured. There's no injured parties. If you guys can't bring forth any injured party, then why are we still here? I need this to be dismissed, and the funds that was issued on the bond account needs to be reimbursed to me. Period. You guys don't have any injured party here. Based on the Constitution, the Sixth Amendment, if you guys can't bring forth the accuser, then this needs to be dismissed.
If we go by this idiot's logic, then just imagine this for a second. If there were no victims for traffic violations and we all just got away with it, the roads would be pure chaos. Like, sure, let's all run red lights, drive 100 miles an hour in school zones, and park wherever we want because, hey, no victim, no crime, right? It's literally like these people forget traffic laws exist to keep everybody safe. Without them, we'd basically be living in a real-life game of bumper cars, except with actual consequences. Not only that, but I think this dude here is just using the sovereign citizen BS to get away with his little traffic violation here. Maybe this guy's intelligent enough to somehow think that he can get away with it if he just used their script. But then again, I don't think it's going to work out too well for him, so he's definitely not very intelligent. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive back in here.
Anything else, Mr. Mathis?
Not at the moment.
All right. Was there a bond posted? I'm not quite sure what he's talking
Absolutely.
Judge, it looks like there was a $175 bond posted. Judge, I apologize. I actually, the file is here. I'm going to send the file into court.
Mr. Kaluzny, the amendment was to disobey a traffic signal, which is a okay.
I apologize, Judge. The file coming into you.
That's all right. The amendment that the people made here was to disobey a traffic signal. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right. The court's heard the testimony, the arguments of the parties, reviewed the video that was introduced as evidence. The video shows clearly the vehicle driven by Mr. Mathis go through a red light, the traffic signal at 11 in Washington. The standard here at issue is preponderance. The video showed beyond any doubt, really, that that's what occurred. Also, there's testimony from Officer Moran that that Mr. Mathis did actually admit on the roadside that he had done what was alleged to have occurred here today. That testimony was uncontroverted by any other evidence that was introduced. With that, the court does find Mr. Mathis to be responsible for the amended charge of disobey a traffic signal. That's a $150 fine. Mr. Mathis has posted a $175 bond, so the court will apply the bond to the fine of $150. There's a $25 refund coming to Mr. Mathis, and that's all for today.
All that for that. This dude really just wanted to waste everyone's time, didn't he? Like, what was even the point of this sovereign citizen contesting the officer's ticket? Not only did he drag this whole thing out for no reason, but he didn't even bother to give a proper testimony to back up his argument. I mean, at the beginning here, I thought this guy wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed, but wow, he somehow managed to lower the bar even more after that. So, what do you guys think about this whole mess here? What would you rank this guy's IQ? Because honestly, I don't even know where to start. Just let me know in the comments what you guys thought. I love reading your comments, but anyways, guys, make sure to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. And also, let me know what you guys want to see next on the channel here. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Take care.